Okay, so today we'll discuss about the portal vein and the photosystemic anastomosis. Okay, it comes in your theory. Photosystemic anastomosis clinical aspect is very important. Okay, you will get cases of esophageal varices, hemorrhoids, very important for your clinical aspect. And photosystemic anastomosis individually comes as a long question. Okay, so first we will discuss the portal vein. And portal vein can be given in your OSPI question for practical, or its formation is asked in your Viva also. Viva MCQ, its tributaries are important. So portal vein is a large vein which collects the blood from the abdominal part of the alimentary tract, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, and it conveys it to the liver. So this is the area portal vein collecting the blood. Okay. In the liver, the portal vein breaks up into sinusoids. Sinusoids are vascular channels and which are drained by the hepatic veins to the inferior vena cava. And it is called portal vein because its main tributary, the superior mesenteric vein, begins in one set of capillaries in the gut and portal vein ends in another set of capillaries in the liver. Okay, so this is the definition of portal. The word portal means it starts from a capillary and ends in a capillary. Okay, you also get portal system in hypothalamus. Okay, a portal system is present between hypothalamus and pituitary. Okay, so here also it is starting from the alimentary tract in a set of capillary and ending in the hepatic sinusoids, that is another set of capillary. Okay, so this is the formation. Portal vein is about 8 centimeter long. It is formed by the union of superior mesenteric vein and the splenic veins, and it is formed behind the neck of the pancreas at the level of L2. So this is vertebral level is also important, and this relation formation of portal vein lies behind the neck of the pancreas. This is very important, occurring at the level of L2, second lumbar vertebral level. Okay. Next, we are going to the course of the portal vein. It runs upward and to the right. See, here is the formation. This is pancreas, this is duodenum, head, neck. Behind the neck, here is the formation by joining of two veins. This is splenic vein and this is superior mesenteric vein. Yesterday, we have discussed splenic vein and splenic arteries. So, here is the splenic vein joining with the superior mesenteric vein to form the portal vein. Then it is ascending upward and towards the right and dividing into two branches before entering through the porta hepatis. Okay. So you can see here, before entering the liver, it has three parts. Okay. Infraduodenal. This is first part of duodenal. Below this part is the infraduodenal part of portal vein. Posterior to the duodenum is the retroduodenal part, and above the duodenum up to its entry into the liver, that is supraduodenal part. Okay, so it is divided into three parts: extrahepatic course, and also there is intrahepatic course up to its dividing into the sinusoids. Okay, so this is the course. It runs upward and to the right. First lies behind the neck of pancreas here. Next behind the first part of the duodenum, and lastly in the right free margin of lesser omentum. Okay, you will read the peritoneum. Lesser omentum is important part of the peritoneum. Okay, so it has a right free margin which is connecting the stomach with the liver. Lesser omentum is connecting the stomach with the liver. So through its right free margin, the portal vein is passing. Through this right free margin, three structures are passing: hepatic artery, portal vein, and the bile duct. Okay, their relations are also important. You will see later. So the blood flow in portal vein is slow, and blood of the superior mesenteric vein, here is the superior mesenteric vein, it passes directly to the right lobe of the liver, and from the splenic vein and the inferior mesenteric vein. Inferior mesenteric vein is draining into the splenic vein. Okay, this blood from these two veins are draining directly into the left lobe of the liver through the left branch. Okay, so there is a, it is called streamline flow. That is, no mixing of blood is occurring here, though they are passing through the same channel. Okay, it occurs in river waters. You can see changes in colors in different water of the different rivers. Okay, so here it is also occurring like that. So these are the parts of the portal vein. This is extrahepatic course. It has infraduodenal part, retroduodenal part, supraduodenal part, and it has intrahepatic course. Okay. Now how it terminates. So for portal vein, you have to know where it begins, its course, and the termination and the relations. Okay. So terminates, the vein ends at the right end of the porta hepatis by dividing into two branches, right branch and the left branch, and these branches enter the liver. Okay. Here it is ending by dividing into two branches. Next we are going to the relations of these three parts. Okay. If it comes in a long question, these points will be asked. Okay, origin, termination, relations, all these will be asked. So infraduodenal part, this part is infraduodenal. Anteriorly lies the neck of pancreas and posteriorly inferior vena cava. And you can see all the levels, all the three levels, inferior vena cava lies posteriorly. You remember like this. Okay. Next, in the retroduodenal part, anteriorly lies the first part of duodenum, bile duct, and the gastroduodenal artery. And posteriorly lies inferior vena cava. Supraduodenal part, this part, anteriorly lies the hepatic artery and the bile duct. Okay, and posteriorly lies the inferior vena cava. These three structures, portal vein and this hepatic artery, bile duct, these three are together lying in the right free margin of the lesser omentum. Next, we are going to the intrahepatic course. So, after entering into the liver, the right and the left branch divides and redivides along with the hepatic artery. Multiple branching, tree-like branching will be there to end ultimately in the hepatic sinusoids. These are vascular channels. And in the hepatic sinusoids, the portal venous blood mixes with the hepatic arterial blood. Almost 60% of blood supply of liver is coming from this portal vein. Okay, and rest 40% coming from the hepatic artery. And those two bloods are mixing within the sinusoids, and they are draining through the hepatic veins directly into the inferior vena cava, which is lying at the inferior vena caval groove on the posterior surface of liver. You have seen during the liver viscera. So these are the branches. Branches you must remember. The tributaries. Okay. So here we will discuss first the branches. The right branch. Right branch is shorter and wider than the left branch, and it receives the cystic vein. This one is cystic vein, and it enters the right lobe of the liver. And the left branch, this is left branch, it is longer and narrower than the right branch, and it enters the left lobe of the liver, and it receives the paraumbilical veins. See, these are the paraumbilical veins. It is going towards the umbilicus. Next, we are going to the tributaries. Okay, tributaries you must remember. Portal vein receives the following veins: left gastric vein, right gastric vein. See, this is right gastric vein, this is left gastric vein. Esophageal veins are draining into the left gastric vein. Okay, so all these tributaries are included within the portal system. Okay, so you remember it during the portosystemic anastomosis. You have to know the area where the anastomosis is being occurred, and what are the veins of the portal system and what are the veins of the systemic circulation taking part in the anastomosis. Okay, and in case of portal hypertension, there will be dilatation of this anastomosis and there will be some disease conditions. Okay, so that's why you have to remember the tributaries of the portal vein. So this right and left gastric vein lying along the lesser curvature of the stomach. Next is superior pancreaticoduodenal. This is superior pancreaticoduodenal vein. Next is cystic vein. This is cystic vein draining into the right branch of the portal vein. And paraumbilical veins. This is paraumbilical veins draining in its left branch. So these are the tributaries of the portal vein. Next, we are going to the portosystemic anastomosis. These are also known as portocaval anastomosis, and these communications form important routes of collateral circulation in the portal obstruction. What is portal hypertension? It is defined as increase in blood pressure in the veins of the portal system caused by obstruction in the liver. What are the reasons of obstruction? It can be due to cirrhosis or thrombophlebitis. Thrombophlebitis means clot formation in the veins, blockage in the veins, and causing enlargement of collateral veins. When there will be blockage, the blood will try to find alternate routes. Alternate routes are the collateral channels. Okay, so collateral channels will be enlarged. They generally does not pass blood through these channels. But when there is blockage or portal hypertension, there is blood is not flowing through the normal route. They will pass through these collateral channels. Okay. This collateral enlargement of collateral veins will be there, and splenomegaly. Splenomegaly will be important feature of portal hypertension. You must remember, and it is caused by liver cirrhosis. This is intrahepatic cause, and thrombosis of portal vein. That is thrombophlebitis. It is extrahepatic cause of this portal hypertension. Here, intrahepatic cause is involved. Liver is cirrhosis. Cirrhosis occurs. Roughening of the surface you can see. And here there is thrombophlebitis have been shown. Okay. So what will be the consequences of the portal hypertension? There will be esophageal varices, caput medusa, dilated veins around the umbilicus, hemorrhoids or piles. Okay, external, internal piles can occur. Ascites will be there, accumulation of fluid in the peritoneal cavity, and splenomegaly. So these are the features of portal hypertension. Okay, so when you will get a patient of portal hypertension, you will see for these features. Okay, so we'll discuss each of the feature in details. So esophageal varices. See, this is lower end of the esophagus. There will be dilatation of veins at the lower end of esophagus. Okay, that is known as esophageal varices. Patient typically presents with. So if there is dilated veins, there is chance of injury to these veins, and there will be bleeding because the veins are blocking the pathway of the food. Okay, so there will be bleeding, and here the bleeding is hematemesis, fresh blood, patient will vomit fresh blood. Okay, and there will be black tarry stool. When the blood passes through the stomach, it will be reacted with the digestive juices, and there will be black tarry stool. Okay, and in hemorrhoids or piles, there will be fresh blood in stool. So that is the difference between the esophageal varices and the hemorrhoids. Okay, and also in gastric ulcer bleeding, there will be digested blood or black tarry stool. Melena is the term used. Okay, so it can be, how will you diagnose it? It can be visualized using the esophagogastroduodenoscopy, that is GI endoscopy. Okay, you can visualize the interior of the esophagus, stomach up to duodenum. Okay. Next, we are going to the caput medusa. See, this is umbilicus. Around the umbilicus, you will see dilated tortuous veins. Okay, this is caput medusa. It is paraumbilical anastomosis known as caput medusa. Caput medusa like the veins looks like the hairs of the Medusa. Okay, Greek god with curly hairs, Medusa. So paraumbilical veins here anastomosis with these three veins, six veins, two on each side, three on each side. Okay, superficial epigastric, superior epigastric, and inferior epigastric veins. So paraumbilical veins are tributaries of portal system. We have read, and these three veins are tributaries of the systemic system. Okay, or caval system. So around the umbilicus, there will be anastomosis. So this is superficial epigastric vein, superior epigastric vein, inferior epigastric vein. Okay. So all these are anastomosing together. And you have to check also the direction of blood flow in these veins during your clinics, okay, medicine or surgery. Here is the anastomosis occurring. See this paraumbilical vein in anastomosing with the epigastric veins. Epigastric veins are coming from the iliac veins. These are systemic or caval system, and paraumbilical vein is going to drain into the left branch of the portal vein. Okay, so here is the anastomosis around the umbilicus. Next, we are going to the hemorrhoids or piles. Okay, hemorrhoids are painful swollen veins in the lower portion of the rectum or anus. See, this is interior of the anus. Okay, interior of the rectum, and this part is the anus. Lower 4 semi is the anus. Okay, and here there will be dilated columns of veins. These are known as hemorrhoids or piles. Okay, internal piles, when it is above the Hilton's line, there is no pain because it is supplied by autonomic nerves. Okay, only fresh bleeding will be there during defecation. Okay, and in external piles, when it is below the Hilton's line, there will be bleeding, but it is painful because it is supplied by the somatic veins. Okay, so the hemorrhoids is very important. Short note, you prepare it. Hemorrhoids, so hemorrhoids are painful swollen veins in the lower portion of the rectum or anus, and here hematochezia or fresh blood in stool. These terms you remember, okay? You have to use during the clinics. Hematochezia occurs here, and in esophageal varix, melena occurs, black tarry stool, and here fresh blood in the stool, okay? Hematochezia, and blood vomiting is hematemesis. Okay, these terms you remember. Next, there is ascites. Ascites is accumulation of fluid in the peritoneal cavity. When the venous drainage is not occurring, fluid tries to escape and they accumulate in the peritoneal cavity. Okay, and that is development of the ascites. So in ascites, retroperitoneal anastomosis here is occurring. Visceral vein of Retzius, that is portal system, and retroperitoneal parietal vein. Retroperitoneal parietal vein is the caval system. So these two veins are anastomosing along the colon. Okay. So this is retroperitoneal anastomosis or ascites is occurring through this and portocaval anastomosis. So what will be the treatment for the portal hypertension? There you can do band ligation. Band ligation is done in hemorrhoids or in the esophageal varices. Okay, through the endoscope, a band is placed around the dilated veins and it falls off. First shrinks and then falls off. Okay, and sclerotherapy, you inject some injecting material into the varix and it will sclerose the varix and the surrounding tissue. Okay, blood flow is lost in that tissue and that tissue will die and fall off. And next is portosystemic shunts. You create artificial shunts between the portal venous system and the systemic veins. And another is TIPS, transjugular intrahepatic portosystemic shunting. Okay, through the intrajugular vein you pass a shunting system and portosystemic shunting is done within the liver. Okay, so this is band ligation, see rubber band ligation system So through the endoscopy system, it is band is placed around the varix. Here band have been placed. This is the varix in endoscopic view. Okay, a small band is applied to the base of the varix, stopping the blood supply to it, and it will shrink and die within a few days, and the shriveled tissue along the band will fall off during normal peristaltic movements. Okay. Next is sclerotherapy. A solution of sodium morphate and ethanolamine oleate is introduced into the varix. Okay, this will be asked in your final year. What is the injection material components of the sclerotherapy? Okay, so intravarically, you have to inject it intravarically within the varix and surrounding tissue of the varix paravarically. Intravarically to obliterate the varix and paravarically induce the submucosal fibrocele. It will cut off the blood supply. Okay, so here it is being done sclerotherapy. Sclerotherapy needle is introduced into the varix and injecting material. Okay. Next is photosystemic shunting. How it is done? A common method for reducing portal hypertension is to divert the blood from the portal venous system to the systemic venous system by creating a communication between the hepatic portal vein and the inferior vena cava. Another way of reducing portal pressure is to join the splenic vein to the left renal vein after the splenectomy. Splenorenal anastomosis or shunts. You can see this is the portal vein. Portal vein have been cut and it is being anastomosed with the inferior vena cava. Okay. Another is here. This splenic vein is being anastomosed with the left renal vein. Okay. With the left renal vein is part of caval system, which is a tributary of the inferior vena cava. So that's how photosystemic anastomosis or photosystemic shunts are done. Next is transtubular intrahepatic photosystemic shunting. It is an artificial channel within the liver that establishes communication between the inflow portal vein and the outflow hepatic vein. Here, see, through the intrajugular vein, a catheter will be introduced, and there is a channel is created between the portal vein, mainly the right branch of portal vein, along with the hepatic vein. Okay, hepatic veins are draining into the inferior vena cava, so direct shunting of blood will occur and hypertension will be reduced. And this procedure is done by catheterizing the right hepatic vein via the internal jugular vein. Okay. So, what is the pressure in portal hypertension? That is asked in your Viva and MCQ. Okay. So, portal pressure, normal pressure in the portal vein is about 5 to 15 millimeter of Ag, and it is measured by splenic puncture. Okay. Portal hypertension, portal pressure rises above 40 millimeter of Ag. Okay. And what is the causes of portal hypertension? Cirrhosis of liver. Cirrhosis of liver can occur in Banti's disease, congestive splenomegaly, thrombosis of the portal vein like this. And what is the effects of portal hypertension? Congestive splenomegaly, ascites, and collateral circulation development through the portosystemic communication. So it will form the caput medusae around the umbilicus, esophageal varices at the lower end of esophagus, and hemorrhoids in the anal canal. Okay. So these are the areas where the anastomosis is occurring, and these are the tributaries which are anastomosing, and these are the clinical aspects in case of portal hypertension. So at the abdominal part of the esophagus, that is lower end of esophagus, some esophageal veins drain via the left gastric vein into portal vein. So this is portal system. And some esophageal veins drain into hemiazygous vein through the vena azygus into superior vena cava. This is caval system. So this is photosystemic anastomosis occurring in between the tributaries of vein. And in case of liver cirrhosis, these tributaries anastomose, giving rise to esophageal varix, and this varix may rupture to cause hematemesis. Okay. Next, around the umbilicus, a few paraumbilical veins run along the ligamentum teres of liver, and left branch of portal vein is anastomosis. Veins around the umbilicus drain via the superior inferior epigastric veins into the superior inferior vena cava respectively. And in cirrhosis of liver, paraumbilical veins open up to transverse the portal venous blood into the systemic circulation and results in caput medusa. Another is around the anal canal. Superior rectal vein continues up as the inferior mesenteric vein, drain into the portal vein. Inferior mesenteric vein is tributary of portal vein, and the middle and inferior rectal vein drain into the inferior vena cava. So, in liver cirrhosis causes anastomosis between superior and other rectal vein. They will dilate, and these anastomosing veins result in piles or hemorrhoids. Okay, so these are the three important clinical aspects: esophageal varices, caput medusa, piles or hemorrhoids, and other areas of photosystemic anastomosis that also you have to know. Other areas are central veins and sublobular veins are part of portal circulation. These are hepatic veins, tributaries of hepatic veins, and intercostal veins and phrenic veins end in the systemic circulation. Okay, so through the bare area where the Glisson's capsule is absent, photosystemic anastomosis is occurring between the hepatic radicals, hepatic venous radicals, with the phrenic veins. Okay, phrenic veins are going to the diaphragm, go draining into the systemic circulation. And there is some anastomosis between the portal vein and systemic vein. No specific significance. Clinical aspect is not present here. And veins of ascending and descending colon. Veins of colon end in portal circulation, and veins of posterior abdominal wall end up in systemic veins. And there is some anastomosis between these two sets of tributaries, and these may get injured in procedures done in these areas. Okay, and in case of hypertension, all these veins can be dilated, and ascites occurs mainly from these areas: bare area of liver, veins of ascending descending colon. And another is patent ductus venosus of the liver. It joins the left branch of portal vein to the inferior vena cava. Okay, these were present in the fetus. In fetal circulation, you will get this patent ductus venosum, and in adult, it becomes the ligamentum venosum. Okay, there is a groove in the liver containing this ligamentum venosum. So, it may be accompanied by other congenital anomalies in the fetus. If it remains patent, see the diagram representing the. So this is abdominal part of esophagus. Here esophageal veins and left gastric, it is draining into left gastric vein. This is portal system, and here is the caval system. Some of the esophageal vein going to drain into this azygous system, azygous, hemiazygous vein, then into superior vena cava. So if the anastomosis get dilated, there will be esophageal varices. Okay. Next, umbilicus. Around the umbilicus, here portal vein, right branch of portal vein, paraumbilical vein is portal system, and these are the systemic veins, veins of anterior abdominal wall, superficial epigastric, superior and inferior epigastric veins. Caput medusa, there will be caput medusa. And here in the lower end of the rectum, superior rectal vein is the portal system. It is tributary of portal system draining into the splenic vein after formation of inferior mesenteric vein. Okay, and these lower two veins of rectum, middle and inferior rectal vein, they are veins of systemic system. And if they are portal, in case of portal hypertension, there will be dilatation of this vein and piles. This is internal pile above the pectinate line and Wilton's line, and this is external pile below the pectinate line. Internal pile is painless due to autonomic supply, and external pile is painful. Okay, they due to somatic supply, nerve supply, changes in nerve supply is there. So these are all the have been shown. Here lower end of the esophagus, here around the umbilicus, and here around the anal canal. So this chart you remember. Okay. So lower end of esophagus, portal system, left gastric vein, systemic esophageal veins. Lower end of rectum, superior rectal is portal, middle or inferior rectal, systemic. Umbilicus, paraumbilical vein is portal system, and these are the systemic veins. Above superior epigastric, lateral thoracic, below superficial epigastric, inferior epigastric, and from the sides posterior intercostal and lumbar veins. All these veins are joining around the umbilicus. And in the posterior abdominal wall, splenic vein is portal system, left renal vein is the systemic system. Bare area of liver, portal radicals of the liver is anastomosic with diaphragmatic veins. And falciform around the falciform ligament of liver, paraumbilical veins are anastomosic with the diaphragmatic veins. And ligamentum venosum, here left branch of portal vein anastomosic with inferior vena cava. Okay. So this chart you must remember for portosystemic anastomosis. Here these are the area around the umbilicus, lower end of esophagus. Here in the bare area of the liver, posterior abdominal wall, here is lower end of the anal canal. Anastomosis have been shown in bare area of the liver, lower end of esophagus, here in the posterior abdominal wall, rectum, umbilicus. Okay. Same chart here, the clinical aspect is also included. Lower end of esophagus, these are the caval system, portal system. Effect will be esophageal varices. Umbilicus, these are the veins involved. Caput medusa will occur. And lower end of rectum and anal canal, anorectal varices or internal hemorrhoids. These are the due to system. Posterior abdominal wall, this can occur. These are the portal and caval system. This is this we have not discussed. Posterior wall of vagina. There also another photosystemic anastomosis is present. Vaginal venous plexus drains into caval system, and superior rectal vein is also supplying the vagina. It is draining into the portal system. Okay. So in portal hypertension, pressure is more than 12 millimeter of Hg. Causes are prehepatic, hepatic, posthepatic. Prehepatic cause is thrombosis of portal vein. Hepatic cause is cirrhosis of liver. Posthepatic cause is Budd-Chiari syndrome. Okay. Effects are splenomegaly, ascites, collateral circulation through the sites of photosystemic anastomosis. Hemorrhoids, caput medusa, esophageal varices. It will look like this. These are the dilated varices. Okay. In endoscopic view, this is endoscopic view. These mainly three venous channels gets dilated. At you have to describe as o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, like this. Okay. Three channels are mainly dilated. Okay, that's all. Any queries from this topic? So portal vein you prepare for your practical OSPE for theory long question. Okay. Its beginning, termination, tributaries, relations, all are important. And photosystemic anastomosis comes as a part of long question and also short note. Understood? And portal hypertension and its clinical aspect, esophageal varix, all its diagnosis, treatment, all will be asked. Esophageal varix and hemorrhoids individually can come as a short note. And caput medusa also. Clinical aspects individually can come as a short note or explain why question. Okay? Understood? So today's class topic is very, very important. Any queries from this? No queries? Okay, that's all. Thank you.